Hello to you. Welcome to today's download. Take a deep breath and ask yourself this, what I will call maybe the most important question you could ask yourself. Do you trust yourself? Do you fully, completely, absolutely trust in yourself? And you could say, you could equate this to, do you trust in God, in the universe? Do you trust creation? Do you trust that life takes care of life? It's kind of like the wisdom of the Tao, do you trust that everything is in divine order? And the reason it's such an important question is because, truthfully, life is out of our control, largely. Yet, there's one person that we'll say has the power or the ability to guide and steer your life in the best direction, and that person is you. So it's kind of another funny paradigm shaker-upper, because yes, we have no control over creation on one hand, yet we have a lot of control or power or ability to mold our reality. So do you trust yourself? Do you trust that self, I will say, that is your spirit, your soul, your divine self, I will say your creator self? And do you trust that that aspect or facet of you, which is really the only true eternal you, is inside of you, guiding and steering you always? Rather than something out there that we need to pray to or ask for help to, I've been told it's called, the Holy Spirit, or if God made us in His image, it's that seed of divinity that causes our heart to beat. So it has to be within us, right? So trusting yourself, what does that mean? Can you trust that everything that's ever happened in your life is okay, is actually perfect for you? That everything you've ever done, everything you've ever said, maybe things you've judged yourself for or others for as being wrong or bad, could you trust that that's all been perfect and you are exactly where you need to be today, right here, right in this very moment? Gosh. When you trust yourself, it's such a relief. And do you trust? Can you, if you don't right now, this is worth contemplating. Can you trust that everything that you need to do moving forward, that all that knowingness is within you, and that you are the one that knows better what is right for you, what works for you than anyone else? Trusting yourself that fully, that you are the expert for your life, you and you alone. And along with that, that when you get, a little confused, a little tripped up, a little sucked in by other things that maybe aren't working the best for you, that life will send you people, situations, reminders to kind of wake you up and remind you of your own truth. You could break this trust down, and I will call this the epitome, the pinnacle of trusting yourself into: are you able to live without fear? Can you live beyond fear? Can you let go of all the fear of past, present, future? Because if you're in total trust, there's really no reason to fear anything. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to feel fear. It's always going to come knocking on your door, trying to sell you something that you probably don't want. Something that you don't need, overpriced, overvalued. But so it really comes down to love or fear. Do you trust that you are loved unconditionally, you are supported unconditionally, and that is all within you? So it's stepping through a barrier, a threshold of choosing love always rather than fear. You know, this reminds me of a time somewhere around mid-2015, and I did this Doctor Strange thing, you know, like for months I had been just terrorized by fear. I was in despair and fear, and I mean, mostly apathetic, like just in total apathy, despondent, but at times extreme terror, somewhere in between there, right? And I just knew I simply couldn't go on that way. I didn't want to live that way, right? And so it took me actually months to come to a firm decision inside, a decision I would not ever turn back from, as it turns out. But that was my decision. That's why it took so long to come to terms with this. And at times it is, well, in a question this important, it really serves maybe to contemplate this and come into a firm absoluteness within ourselves. So after much tears and the mind going bonkers about this and that, whether it was money, what I'm going to do with my life, my house, my home, my kids, my blah, 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 all the human attachments. My health was really up and down back then, really questionable. And so I did this Doctor Strange thing one day. I think, to make this story even more real for you, I think this was after one of the days around this, I had actually kicked a hole in the drywall. I was so frustrated from living, feeling so contained by fear and by the mind and by all these ideals and personas. And our spirit, really our essence, our true self, that eternal beingness, can barely stand to live this way, to feel so confined, so constricted, so small, so powerless, so often giving our power away to fear. And so, in the moment that I chose this, and I knew within myself, when I choose this, I will not turn back. I drew one of those portals, if you've seen Doctor Strange, you know, took my finger and I just made a circle. And I said, I'm going to walk through this portal and I'm never looking back. And I might have collapsed on the way through once because that fear was arising so powerfully. Now, I decided from that point on, I would trust myself implicitly, no matter what happened. And that's how I know it's such an important question to ask yourself. Because if you trust yourself completely, and when you trust yourself and creation implicitly, that it is all here to serve you, that everything serves you, then you can trust yourself and creation. You would think that you need proof and proof and proof to trust, right? Prove it to me, show me. That's just not how it works. You choose trust. You choose everything serves me. You choose that the only thing that's real is love, and everything has served me and everything will serve me in living a life of love, of joy, of freedom, whatever that is for you, whatever love means to you. You choose it and you refuse to give your attention, your power to anything else. When fear comes knocking at the door, you stay firm. And then life shows up and shows you that you can trust yourself. It's kind of opposite of what we would want it to be. Be a little easier if we had all that proof first. But as you choose this, creation is benevolent. Life takes care of me. I know that within myself I have all of the answers. I can trust myself. And I can also trust if in one moment I make a choice that tomorrow I go, oh, hey, that probably wasn't the best choice. I trust that it's okay, because tomorrow I'm going to recognize this and life will redirect me. Energy serves me always into love, into the embodiment of myself as unconditional love. And I have nothing to fear. As you choose that, you are manifesting that. That's how you manifest. That is how, as a facet of all that is, as a facet of Creator, you choose your reality. And that's probably the broadest stroke you can create with, is choosing to trust yourself implicitly. And I will say, trusting yourself as a facet of all that is, as a part of all that is. I'm not separate from the world, the universe. It all serves me. So, let's take a deep breath with that. And just ask yourself, do I trust myself? And if you need to sit with it for a while, that's fantastic, because I couldn't recommend enough to you that you come into 100% trust with yourself, and you choose it always. And then you manifest all of the proof as you do. And as you choose to live as yourself, in the image of God, I am God also, and judge nothing, and keep knowing that everything supports you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I wish you all the best and that firm knowingness that you are supported. You just simply choose it. Namaste.